Orenthal James Simpson, nicknamed OJ or the Juice, was born in San Francisco, California on July 9th in the year of 1947. He ran with a street gang, Persian Kings, growing up. OJ attended Galileo High School in San Francisco and the University of Southern California. He was one of the most famous running backs in American football history. In the NFL, OJ played for the Buffalo Bills and finished out his career in 1979, playing for the San Francisco 49ers. After retiring from his football career, he began golfing and working as an actor. He played in movies such as Roots and The Klansman. His hit television shows were Dragonette and Medical Center. O.J. Simpson met Nicole Brown when she was 17 years old in the year of 1979, while he was still married to his first wife, Margaret L. Whitley. Margaret and Simpson divorced in 1978, shortly after his first child died drowning in a swimming pool. A few years later, in 1985, Nicole Brown and Orenthal James Simpson married. Months later, their first child, Sydney Brooks Simpson, was born, and a few years after that, their second child, Justin, was born. Nicole Brown Simpson complained to family and friends that O.J. beat her. In 1989, O.J. Simpson was convicted of spousal abuse. He received probation, community service, and fines less than $1,000. In the year of 1992, Nicole Brown Simpson divorced O.J.
On June 12, 1994, just after midnight, Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman were found by Nicole's neighbor, dead. Nicole's neck was brutally slashed, and Ronald Goldman was stabbed to death. Their bodies were found in the front courtyard of Nicole's condominium in Brentwood. On June 13, 1994, O.J. Simpson was notified of his ex-wife's murder. Meanwhile, he was on a business trip in Chicago. When O.J. returned to L.A., he found his home under investigation and was temporarily handcuffed as a suspect for the murder of Nicole Brown and Ronald Goldman. Simpson was brought in for questioning for a half-hour interrogation. The police found enough evidence indicating that Simpson was guilty of the murders. Simpson was supposed to turn himself in on June 17, 1994, but he did not show. O.J. was chased down by the police while trying to escape in his Ford Bronco. When Simpson returns to his home, he is taken into custody. In his Bronco, a false beard, mustache, loaded gun, passport, and $8,750 in cash were found. On July 8, 1994, the 6-day preliminary hearing ended. Judge Kathleen Kennedy Powell stated there was no sufficient evidence for O.J. Simpson to stand trial on 2 counts of first-degree murder. On July 22, 1994, O.J. Simpson pleaded 100% not guilty to the charges. Judge Lance A. Ito was assigned to the case. The jury panel was selected on November 3, 1994, and the trial began on January 25, 1995. The DNA testimony began on May 10, 1995. The trial lasted 99 days, and the prosecution had 72 witnesses. The first set of witnesses said Simpson had motivation and opportunity to kill, while the second set suggested that he used the opportunity to kill his ex-wife and Ronald Goldman. The first group of eyewitnesses included Nicole's relatives, O.J.'s friends, and a 911 dispatcher. The second set of witnesses were LAPD officers and his limousine driver. On June 10, 1995, Simpson's defense team, known as the Dream Team, took the witness stand. With words, evidence, and statements from the defense end, the jury panel began to change their thoughts on the situation. Laura Hart McKinney's testimony stated that Mark Furman of the LAPD stated in an interview that sometimes he planted evidence to help secure convictions. Simpson had tried on a pair of gloves that had seemed not to fit. The jury panel began to think, was O.J. framed?
In cross-examination, Simpson's attorney F. Lee Bailey asked Furman directly.
And you say on your oath that you have not addressed any black person as a nigger or spoken about black people as niggers in the past 10 years, Detective Furman?
That's what I'm saying, sir.
So that anyone who comes to this court and quotes you as using that word in dealing with African Americans would be a liar, would they not, Detective Furman?
Yes, they would.
All of them, correct?
All of them.
Furman's testimony would haunt the prosecution for the rest of the trial. Other witnesses would challenge the prosecution's timeline of events and the validity of evidence gathered by the police. But the most damaging evidence comes from two excerpts of recorded interviews Mark Furman gave to screenwriter Laura Hart McKinney. The interviews were originally research for one of McKinney's projects, and now they're used by the defense in an attempt to prove Simpson was framed by a racist cop.
You recognize the voice of the person who was saying they don't do anything, they don't go out there and initiate a contact? Some 6'5" nigger that's been in prison for 7 years pumping weights. Who said that?
Officer Mark Furman.
The prosecution knows the tapes are damaging, and in his closing arguments, Darden tries to steer attention back to Simpson.
The jury of O.J. Simpson's trial spent 3 hours deliberating the case. Overall, it produced 150 witnesses in 133 days. The overall cost of the trial was $15 million. On October 3, 1995, D.J. Robertson, Ito's clerk, announced the jury's verdict. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty of the crime of murder.
Mr. Simpson, would you please stand and face the jury? Mrs. Robertson.
Superior Court of California, County of Los Angeles, in the matter of the people of the state of California versus Orenthal James Simpson, case number BA097211. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty of the crime of murder in violation of Penal Code Section 187A, a felony upon Nicole Brown Simpson, a human being, as charged in count 1 of the information. Superior Court of the State of California, County of Los Angeles, in the matter of the people of the State of California versus Orenthal James Simpson. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty of the crime of murder in violation of Penal Code Section 187A, a felony upon Ronald Lyle Goldman, a human being, as charged in count 2 of the information. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, further find the special circumstance that the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, has in this case been convicted of at least one crime of murder of the first degree and one or more crimes of murder of the first or second degree to be not true. Signed this second day of October 1995, Juror 230. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, is this your verdict? So say you one, so say you all.
Yeah.
Kim Goldman, Ron's sister, and Patty Goldman, Ron's mother, cried in the crowd. On October 23, 1996, O.J. Simpson was tried in a civil trial. On November 22, 1996, O.J. testified stating he did not murder his ex-wife and Ronald Goldman. Ron's father, Fred Goldman, then testified on December 9 of 1966. On February 4, 1997, O.J. Simpson was found liable by the jury. The plaintiffs were awarded $8.5 million in damages. Simpson was ordered to turn over his assets, including his 1968 Heisman Trophy. The Brown and Goldman families split the proceeds of the money received from O.J.'s auction. O.J. Simpson and the Brown family negotiated custody arrangements of the two Simpson children.